What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. We are going to... I'm just checking this bottom out because I keep getting spillages. And I'm not sure if I realised at the time, but yeah, the reason is because there is ice about and it's melting. I thought there was a leak, but obviously no. This is an area where we've got that little robot. It's slow, but it's working ever so slowly, clearing up that whole platform down there where we was letting it cool down. So coming over now to the farms, you can see the hatch farm is humongous. And I am going to, and by humongous, that is the maximum space you are allowed for a farm, 96 tiles. So I'm going to extend the poke shell one equally, the same size, with exactly the same amount of cat beds. I don't know what they look like, cat beds to me, but they're basically pet beds because it makes them a lot happier. So why not? And obviously the poke shells will shed shells that then we can grind down into lime, etc., which is required for steel. And we are now at the limit for steel, I think, because we have run out of lime. So although we have the automated setup, everything's automatic, we don't ever have to do anything with the steel, it's stopped because of the lack of lime. There is no more left on the planet. I get it from eggshells, but that's not a lot. So the poke shells are the critters that you are supposed to use to farm that, per se. We of course have the 𝐑𝐄𝐄s, the glossy 𝐑𝐄𝐄s, plastic there you can see, it looks like 7.9 tons. So we've got a lot of plastic as well, and so far we have done zero work with oil and petroleum to achieve that. So that is fantastic, I would say. Remember that the whole process of plastic from oil and then into petroleum is very hot, very dangerous, and usually ends up with duplicants dying. And I kill them easy enough other ways, so I don't need another way to kill them that's more likely. Apparently no one was planting a plant in that pot. Looking, just skimming past it there, the automated hatchery here is working nicely, though there is a major problem. You probably saw when we first started the episode, there was a random hatchling. I'm getting random pets, critters, all over the base. I'm not sure why exactly, but I think it's something to do with they come in and do that, which is fine. So because of the up arrow item there, they come in and they automatically wrangle the critter. They're then supposed to deliver that critter to its drop-off point, which is the down arrow. They don't. They seem to pick it up and just drop it long before they get there. So the solution here is that I am going to move the hatchery over here. So where you can see these farms, because of how the 𝐑𝐄𝐄s are, I make them tall instead of wide. Still 96 tiles, but just higher because we need hydrogen at the top and oxygen at the bottom. That leaves this whole space here to the right-hand side free. Each one of them sections will easily hold 4 incubators. So 2 rows will give us 8 incubators, which is what we currently have. I'll then set them up again with the auto sweeps and stuff to make them automatic. So all the eggs will get collected and stored there, and then they will be auto processed if I've got them set to. That is the iron ore to iron that is broken at the minute. The left hand one is iron to iron ore. The right hand one is iron to steel, but that's obviously shut down because we have no lime. The light bugs are doing what we intended them to do. So because we've given them the right food, they are laying sun bug eggs. The sun bun eggs... Sun bun. Wait, I'm confused. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. Basically, they lay sun bug eggs, right? That's it. There we go. Very discombobulated. Anyway, so they lay those eggs. Them eggs are then used along with some steel, and I think that's it, to make the vials. The vials are the end game medicine that basically cures everything in the game, including the zombie spores. So we have about 30 or 40 of those now, plenty, but our duplicants aren't ill. So we achieved the goal. That is literally what they're there for. That is the only purpose for them. I hatched the sunshine eggs to sunshine bugs, but I've just said it wrong again. I don't hatch the sunshine ones. They're what I use for the medical. The ones that you can see on the screen now that are live, that are just the light bugs, I'm continuing to hatch those. They lay the sunshine bug eggs, which I use for crafting. I do not hatch them, and they are not turned on. Okay, so just in the background, rewiring some wires, which sounds stupid when I say it like that, but yeah, rewiring some wires. The incubators are expensive to run in terms of electricity. They use, what does it work out? It's about 250 each. So yeah, between 8 of them is about 2 kilowatt, of which the cables we are using support. So one cable can do all 8. If I need any more, I will of course need to upgrade the cable, but I am not aware of, and I'm pretty confident that we will never need more than 8, because animal wise I'm not going to do any more critters, I don't think, unless anybody asks for anything specific. The slicksters I'll look into when we get there, when we get to the oil and stuff, but I'm not sure that's something that you incubate per se, but we'll see. The hatchers I am doing to get them into coal hatchers and then into diamond hatchers, just because I want, well, just because I like the actual skin on the diamond hatchers, not because I need diamond actually. And obviously the glossy Drecos are already done. We're getting those for the plastic, and they'll continue to do so. The poke shells, I'm not sure if I can turn one into multiple. They don't breed, right? They just lay eggs, so I'm hoping that will still work eventually. You can see the duplicants that can, a bit of an issue with oxygen with the Atmo suits because it uses so much, are trying to get these rockets up and running. Both these rockets, the one on the left that's not finished yet or has any steam yet, and the one to the right of it that is already ready with 3 rovers, both of these rockets are going to one of the 2 places we already have. I think it's a tomato. It's how I'm pronouncing it. It's a tomato, the name of the asteroid, as far as I'm concerned. And we're going to go there with a few duplicants, hopefully 2 or 3, and rip it to pieces. All of them resourced, then sent home. Liquids, specifically any salt waters, polluted water, brine, all of which we need to get transported back home so we can use it, because of course our oxygen is processed from electrolysis through the water. So we are breathing that, turning it into carbon dioxide, so it's not renewable. We can't get water out of carbon dioxide. It's not how science works. So we need a supply of water, any type of water, that we can then either desalinate, which is the salt and brine water, taking the salt out and giving us clean water to turn into oxygen, or polluted water that we can sieve, taking out the dirt and leaving us with clean water to turn into oxygen. And hydrogen. Remember, we have a lot of hydrogen, and we're quite a way off, I would say, probably the liquid hydrogen engine. This series is still going. If you do enjoy it, please do let me know. I'm going to continue so far. The only way this is going to end earlier than what my plan is if the mods and or lag breaks. This is all in 4K and it is getting busy. So far my computer seems okay with it. It takes a while to load into the game, but once you're in, it's fine. Right, so the incubator rooms are getting close. So in there is a set up, and I'll continue to talk while we just look around the base, because I'm just doing a bit of sanity checking around the base at the minute. So you've got the 4 incubators. There is a sweeper above. There is a chest in the middle. The idea is, you can see there, by the way, they're the vials. So you can see I've got plenty of vials, so I'm using the sun nymph eggs. And it is just the sun nymph eggs and steel. And I've turned it off now because I've got far more than I'll probably ever need. Yeah, back to the incubators. So the incubators, the chest in the middle, then I select what eggs can go in there, because each of the incubators are going to be set automatic, so they continuously do a specific type of egg. Each egg gets 2 incubators, so that is 4 different critters I can do with the setup I've got. They get put into that chest in the center, And the sweeper at the top automatically puts the egg into the incubator when the incubator is empty and can support it. As soon as the eggs hatch in the incubator, the mod that auto drops them, the critter drops out. The up arrow, which is the pickup for critters, will initiate one of the ranchers to come and wrangle that critter. Then they will take it to the down arrow, which is the drop-off point. And I can confirm that this setup is working a lot better. It is that the pathing, I assume, was broken because they was walking across the whole entire base, which was a bit discombobulating for them. And now it just works. The reason I have used insulate in there is just to try and control the temperature a little bit. Also, if one gets hotter than the other, because likely whichever one is going to be running the hatches, which I can't remember which way around I've done it, that one's going to get the hottest because there's going to be a lot of them coming up very shortly. And I can put a cooling system in should I need to. This spaghetti junction that you can see is struggling because this line here is blocked, but I can get that resolved pretty sharpish right now. Okay, so the poke shell, we're almost there. The room is built. The little houses that they like to sit in, and again, it's a bit excessive. What is that? 2, 4, 6. Yeah, there's 6 of the beds in there. 6 cat beds for them to sleep in a 96 tile room, and I've only got 1 critter. These are working now. You can see bottom left there are the hatchers, the 𝐑𝐄𝐄 and the 𝐑𝐄𝐿, and the bottom right is... I'm trying to figure that out now by the looks of it. Poke shell. Surely it's poke shell. We haven't had an egg yet, but we will get one shortly. Now, I'm not sure, but I need to research because I've not really done much with the breeding of poke shells. Poke shells are shellfish. They are crabs. It is important to know that, and I believe they need water to lay eggs. So I'm going to have to look into that. As it stands right now, playing the game and voicing over it, I don't know. I haven't looked yet. There's the critters that are all over the place, as I said. Really annoying, so that's now fixed. The ones that are remaining, I'll give them one chance to be wrangled and it just work. Which, unfortunately, is unlikely. If on that first instance it doesn't work, then they will become barbecue. Simple. If you don't go in your cage, I'll eat you. That is my motto. Back to the rocket, and you can see it is very short, but it has a purpose. The purpose is simple. So you have the top where you have the duplicants that will go, and that's say 2 or 3, depending on what I decide upon. I'm going to design it now. And then just a orbital cargo drop-off. And I'm just going to fill that with food. So I'm going to send basically 3 maximum duplicants to the tomato asteroid with a crap ton of food because there's none over there, and the idea is that when they arrive I'm going to get them doing a lot of digging to start with and probably ladder building. I don't want them to have to start farming and doing all that annoying stuff that will make things overly complicated. So if I send over too much food, that should work. Okay, it will and can go off, but I'm pretty sure I can find a carbon dioxide area to store it. And of course, for those of you that don't know, if you store your food in carbon dioxide, the food will last a lot longer. Bacteria can't survive in carbon dioxide, so it lasts longer. Now, you can see I'm trying to build this, and I'm trying to actually use my brain a little bit here. I'm working to get 4 rooms out of this, which then equates to 4 morale boosts of some description. The bottom left there, I've moved that right over to the edge, to the door. It looks a bit crap maybe, but practical is what I'm after. Bottom right, that is, of course, the bathroom. And then the 2 top ones will be bedrooms. Technically, this can hold 4 duplicants because there is 4 beds, but I'm pretty sure I only actually send 3. And just to show you the mess that we're currently in, there it is. Everything's urgent. The problem is, and the reason this is taking so long, is the restriction on the Atmo suits. There is only 2 or 3 of the 7 Atmos suits that are running. The others have run out of oxygen. The oxygen production is good, but its priority is keeping the base oxygenated, and only when the base is capped, which is around the 2,000 gram per tile mark, which is quite good, yeah, then it will send the oxygen to be stored in the Atmos suits. And of course, that's not happening seemingly at the minute. We can see. So I can increase the oxygen production, but I don't think I need to. Maybe I just need to reduce the amount of Atmos suits I use down to like 4 or so. Alternatively, I can just turn off the Atmos suits and say, there you go, duplicants, just hold your breath and walk into the atmosphere of space, or the lack of atmosphere, the vacuum of space. In a real world, their eyes would pop out their head and they'd explode, but not in this game. As long as they hold their breath, they're fine. Right, so coming straight back, and this is the next step. Still to do with the rocketry, and this is based on the fact that the new rocket, the one that is the shorter one, still requires refueling with steam. The other one is half full, but it needs more. So what I'm doing is the same as before. I've removed the complicated setup I had because it wasn't really working that well. Everything still overheats, but I did notice a caveat, which of course does make sense. If you put in enough water to turn into steam, so the exact 150 kilos that you need, it does work, and it gives you 150 kilos of steam. However, the steam is at over 1,000 degrees, which is terrible and breaks everything. If you put in more water than you need, the temperature of the steam drops, of course, because the energy is dissipated into more steam. So instead of putting 150 kilos of water in, I put in, I think, 500 kilos. I need to be careful because, yes, that is using our water, and we can't get it back. Steam doesn't turn, well, it does turn back to water, but we're throwing it into the atmosphere, the vacuum of space, so we're not going to get it back. I think there is actually a way of doing it with a bit of drywall, making the launch process in a box, but I might try that. We'll see. Anyway, so it's definitely going to work and give us enough for the rocket to go. It will likely, well, no, it will definitely break over time because the temperature is going to keep rising. But what I'm going to do is, I know it's very inefficient, but I will just rebuild the pump when I need it, when I need to fuel a rocket. Okay, so with a bit of jiggery pokery, there we go. The poke shell now automated as well. That's the first one. So I haven't done anything with the water, and we did get a poke shell. So hopefully that means that we have a poke shell farm. I will still do a bit of research because it's not something I am used to. Also, the morphs are in here, so there's a lot of different types of poke shells that you can make, and I would like to give them all a go. So with both of them pipes going into them rockets backed up with steam, that can only mean one thing, that they are full, 150 kilos per, with some change. This is the shorter rocket, as I said, struggling for oxygen a little bit because, once again, the base is the priority, then the rockets, well, the Atmos suits are second, and any rockets are third. There's still enough there, though. The capacity pressure limit is, I think, 2.5 kilos, so that's a lot of oxygen, to be honest. It's a very short trip, so I'm not too worried. Now, I'm just deciding which planet asteroid to go to, and we are now looking at a tomato, and I know that sounds wrong, but I can't read it any other way. So this is tomato asteroid, and this is the one that I pick. You can see it has got a landing pad already because of the rescue that we did originally. So we're sending 2 rockets here. One is going to have some rovers, an astronaut duplicant will fly that here, drop the 3 rovers off, and then of course fly back to the main planet. Okay, so the food's stocked up. Believe that's the last duplicant required of the 3 that we are sending. All crew boarded. No, maybe this one then. Let's check. There we go. So all crew is available, which means we can launch Rocket 1. Again, nothing special. Just a battery, a solar panel, just in case. a storage thing that allows us to drop that off on the planet without needing any speciality. And of course then the rocket itself with the people on it, the duplicates on it. And there you see the steam cleans up pretty quick because that isn't a vacuum. If I drywalled the background, it would linger, and we could then catch it, turn it into liquid, and reuse it. I'm not looking at doing that just yet, but we may do that. Okay, so the other rocket is just going into orbit because, of course, this is not landing. It needs one pilot just to get it there and back, and then them 3 rovers will be dropped off to assist in digging, cleaning, storing, etc, etc, whatever it is that we choose that they need to do. And with that done and the duplicant ready, 2 of 2 launched to asteroid Tomato. Obviously there is some travel time, not much because it's the closest one to us, right? As you can see there, floating, flopping around in the vacuum of space. The first rocket has arrived, and the duplicants are here too. It looks like 4 it's showing, so I sent 4, not 3. Apologies. It's been a while, but there we go. It says 4, so they're going to do their various different things until I give them a bit of clarity. What I am going to try and do is, underneath where the rocket platform is, maybe 2 or 3 blocks below there, I'm going to try and get them to build a brick floor roof, so all of these gases and things that are currently evaporating into space and being destroyed by the vacuum of space will of course be captured. Then they can start actually producing oxygen and various different things. All of these noggins of land that are still remaining all need to be dug out. We have had an army of rovers here before, but they can't dig certain things. Luckily the ones I've sent have got hard digging, so they can. All of the liquid then will settle somewhere. There is a geyser there I can see as well. So once we've got a bit of clarity on what's there and the water is stored, we'll start then getting pumps in to collect it. All I need to do then is create a rocket with some liquid tanks or item tanks, depending on what it is we need to send back, because there is no teleport option for this asteroid. And then we'll ship them back. We can also build the machine that fires them into space, but I think that's probably a bit too complex for this asteroid because it needs rad bolts and a few other things for it to work. So I think just sending over a rocket empty, filling it up with stuff from here, and then sending it back again. Mainly my goal here is just for a bit more liquid. The other asteroid has the oil, but I'm not sure if I'm going to bother just yet. Although we can do oil into petroleum and do petroleum rockets, I'm going to skip and probably go straight to the hydrogen. And by hydrogen, I of course mean liquid hydrogen rockets, which is the cryogen stuff. There is then finally the fact that we've got so much hydrogen. Let's not forget, I might start using it for some power as well. We may even scrap the thermo at the bottom of the base just because of its... Actually, no, because it's not using up liquid, it's just recycling, so that'd be a waste. Nevertheless, we are at time now for this episode. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome, as always. Subscribe for more. Join us on Discord. Take care. Goodbye.